Minnetonka. That's where I got my pellet grill, I got my offset, I got a barrel that I ruined a tomahawk on. It's a Talker Tuesday. Thanks to Northern Fire, somebody's going to get a $25 gift card from Northern Fire today. All you got to do is fire off some talkbacks like this.
This is Richard from Burnsville, and good morning. All I know is I get so excited that I just can't hide it. Thinking about Kyler Murray throwing touchdowns to JJ and JA, to Juwan Jennings, and even TJ Hockenfuss. We're going to be good, boys. We're going to be real good. Kyler's never had a coach like this, never had a defense like this. He's confident, he's cocky, and I think he's going to tear it up this year. Our defense is going to be supreme, and we are going to go to the Super Bowl.
Amen, brother. Hockenfuss. I mean, is this H.R. Puffin stuff? Are we throwing it back to to an old school cartoon or something there?
I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too.
I'm kind of challenged by whether I should say I loved the voice that he did there for that talkback, or maybe that's just on that.
I think it's his voice.
Well, thank you, Richard, in Burnsville.
Well, I think I'm starting to recognize some of the voices from talkbacks and days gone by. Now, you with Vikings Fan Line and the voluminous amount you and Ron take, your quick twitch with Vikings voices outside of Charles from the capital city, for me,
right?
You probably would have more quick twitch with that than me.
Yeah.
But I require him last year. He sounded like the guy who would do the talkback and first and foremost, God bless you guys, and he would have some preach to him. And that's just who it kind of sounded like to me.
No, I love it. I love these talkbacks. More.
Hey, PA. Hey, Nordo. Alan and Afton.
Hi.
Are we finding the need already to try and bolster our confidence in Kyler Murray by finding random facts and quotes and people who think he's going to be good this year? Let's let the season play out. Let's let the Vikings prove it on the field.
Okay.
As a lifelong Vikings fan, I'm tired of getting all excited about something and then being disappointed. I'd rather just get excited.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're tired,
in a library.
Yeah, but I mean, with respect,
faith and goal.
If with Minnesota Vikings football, if you're tired about getting excited about something only to be let down, I mean, what have you done the last nearly 7 decades of your life?
I always love that one.
And it's not like, and that's with respect.
Yeah.
It's not like every team, kind of like coming into the 2013 season. If you formulated the opinion that this is probably a non-playoff team, it's got some rebuild to it, and eventually it would lead to a new coach in 2014. Well, I mean, the level of excitement each has about whatever is unto that individual.
Yeah.
So, Kyler Murray plays the most important position and the most difficult position in sports. You could say the goalie in hockey is the most important position. Okay, we can bandy that about some other Talker Tuesday. But he's a polarizing figure, just like LaMelo Ball. And that's why when the Timberwolves made that move for LaMelo Ball, hey, personally speaking, I'm like, Kyler and LaMelo are analogous here, okay? In that they've both been shiny toys who were ballyhooed and incredibly hyped and might have played a combined 6 playoff games over X amount of years. So what's next for them when they get to play next to Anthony Edwards, when they get to play next to Justin Jefferson, when they are led by a couple of former coaches of the year for the first times in their careers? So that's what we do. But the rubber meets the road in the regular season. And that's when the real analysis begins.
Well, and just to add on to that, the chances are better than not that the Vikings will not win the Super Bowl this year. So the odds are at some point this season will come to an end without hoisting a Lombardi. I agree, let it play out on the field, but little history lesson here in the state of Minnesota is probably not needed in regard to how things turn out. And so we choose in mid-August, when games are not on the line, to be really freaking pumped and kind of share levels of excitement that we have around what could be.
I mean, maybe it's because I've been next to it as long as I have. Maybe it's because I have outside interests from the NFL that greatly excite me. I'm excited for all of them, but in different ways.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of people at the racetrack, when I got back there Sunday, or yesterday, ask me about the experience of calling preseason games to Jeff Pun and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, Bursich, Lieber, Tatum, and we had a great time. And hopefully you could hear and or see that via the simulcast, because we don't treat preseason games with a quote life and or death end quote approach.
Right.
Where, okay, Ivan Pace Jr., with respect, embarrassed himself on that Devin Singletary run. But that, so should that right there for me or us, with the angle he took?
Yeah.
Should that offset what I was told about Ivan Pace Jr. into the game, which we subsequently shared on the simulcast, or what I've seen with my own eyes, and he's blowing up players left and right? So it's 2026. And whether it started with January of this year or we're all the way where we are now, context is meaning less and less for far too many day after day. So you can be excited about whatever you want. You can get super excited about Kyler, or you can say he can't see over the line. He's going to throw punts for passes. He's going to close his eyes. And from his right foot, he's just going to chuck that thing up there because that's what I've seen him do. Okay, if he did it, then you handle that layer of the conversation. If he does that, it's obviously unacceptable. But you also can take a side of it like we played an hour ago with the popular loud voice of Colin Cowherd, laying out some really good points. He's like, his first head coach in the NFL, Cliff Kingsbury, was fired by his alma mater. Okay, the general manager went pear-shaped. The ownership group has had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And then things we've said here before. If you think going play action off Amari DiMercato to whomever is what they do here, that's not the case.
Michael Wilson.
So, right, to Michael Wilson. So, same, there are no bet changes for me from the Darnold conversation to Kyler Murray. Same fishbowl. They're under different rocks with different skill sets. The pressure's on Kyler because the offense has shown when you have the requisite quarterback and people are healthy, it can be quite high level. So the pressure is on Kyler Murray to perform. The pressure is on Kyler Murray to learn the playbook. The pressure is on Kyler Murray to have a swivel and make sure you're looking at 1, 2, or 3 options and attack the middle zone the way O'Connell and McVay have done in second to none fashion, likewise for next level Shanny. And whether you're excited about that or not, great. I mean, that's fantastic. I can't wait for the regular season. Why? Because there's a lot of intrigue with this team. Darisaw is the healthiest he's been in 2 years. The youthful vigor of a lot of these rookies happens to excite me, happens to be intriguing to me.
I think it's exciting their teammates as well. I mean, I just feel with this particular group, and Metellus has spoken on it, and just in terms of some of the new faces in the mix, like you can tell that youthful infusion, Demings, we've had many conversations about him.
Yep.
I think that's kind of creating an energy in Egan right now too on its own.
Right. And they're like snowflakes, okay? They all look the same, but they're different. They fall differently. The shapes are differently, and hopefully, like snowflakes, when they hit the ground, they don't melt, like many Vikings teams have done over the course of 6 decades and change. There's plenty about which to be excited if you choose to let yourself be excited about things. When it comes to casting the gaze and projecting with Kyler Murray or Damon Claiborne, hey, Aaron Jones with the pedal to the metal in that first preseason game. Anybody see that coming? No, we didn't see that coming because you don't see a lot of that in training camp. Add another year to his career, add Claiborne via the draft, and, maybe there were some who were like, maybe 33 seen his better days. All right, well, I saw a couple of things Saturday. Well, I could have a rebuttal. Maybe a fresher Aaron Jones is going to be a better, more healthy Aaron Jones.
And that just means a fresher, different-looking 27 can help keep 33 fresh.
Yeah.
And maybe 21 can become a factor more in November and December than he will or could be in September.
The first two are division games. Personally speaking, I get more excited for division games than the other games. And I don't care if they're at Lambeau Soldier or U.S. Bank Stadium. But we also get excited for preseason games. And I can't speak for Pete and or Ben, but I get 3 cracks a year to have fun on TV. So I'm going to have fun on TV. And these preseason games have a loosey-goosey feel to them that as the years have gone on with the honor of doing the simulcast and part of it being Fox 9 is I don't take that lightly. So the preparation's good and the fun is had. But it's also had within the context of what the game is. And it's a preseason game where not everybody plays all the time. And the joint practices now mean more than the preseason games. Don't get us wrong. September 13th against Green Bay, that's the A topic.
Yes.
And I think about that a lot. Just because I don't share it doesn't mean I'm not thinking about it. But this Flores defense against Jordan Love, whatever offensive line they have, Tucker Kraft, I think he's my favorite tight end in the NFL. I think he's the best tight end in the NFL. What we're hearing about Matthew Golden, I want to see it. Jaden Reed, when he's healthy, he's a problem. Christian Watson, when he's healthy, he's becoming a legitimate problem. And Jordan Love can get up and down the field. Well, Flores' defense also in the first game has had multiple months to mix potions as to how to handle this without Dontavian Wicks, who, by the way, is tearing it up in Philadelphia, and Romeo Doubs, who's with New England. Meanwhile, Jonathan Gannon, former DB's coach for the Vikings, former head coach of Kyler Murray with Arizona, he's Green Bay's defensive coordinator, and he doesn't have Micah Parsons, and he won't have him for a month and a half. Well, what's that going to look like against the quarterback you used to coach with the newfangled running game? You going to triple Justin? Go ahead. I can't wait to see what their approach is with this running game that I know is going to work. I don't know to what level, but we got a snapshot of it Saturday. O'Connell was smart to show that to the fan base, too, because that's all people are wondering about, including Matt Producer.
Yes.
You got a little snapshot of 54 yards, 44 were on the ground.
Thank you, KO, for doing that for me.
O'Connell has shown, even to a certain extent with Josh Dobbs, or Nick Mullins, or J.J. McCarthy last year, certainly Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, that beating you by air over the totality of a season is not a problem. That's not a problem for Kevin O'Connell and this staff. Complementing it with the efficiency of a running game, well, that's something that's going to pull coverage off Jefferson.
Yeah.
I happen to think it's going to be really, really good.
It looks good.
But I just want to see what old Jonathan Gannon does for a defensive approach after he sends a 0 blitz on Kyler Murray early in the game, because I know Kyler. I used to coach him.
Yep.
And Devontae Wyatt's healthy, and here he comes. You better double him. Double him. He might be tripled, because how are you going to get home with the rest of the guys? Go ahead and try, because if you miss, you're going to be down 6-0 in 35 seconds. And then when you start doubling 18, what are you going to do with slim down 27? Following 45. 45 and 14, by the way, are new guys. And they're very, very violent. And you haven't seen that from an O'Connell offense.
Can't wait.
What you've seen is the passing game, but you haven't seen that before. And we probably won't see it the rest of the preseason. Matt Producer is super excited right now. But Gannon likes to blitz.
Yeah.
Go ahead and send Edgerrin Cooper and Lucas Van Ness all you want. I love Edgerrin Cooper. I don't think he's the best blitzer I've ever seen. And Lucas Van Ness might have some bust to him.
Yeah.
Big year for him. Now, when Micah comes back, the whole conversation changes.
That is correct.
Changes. But Micah's not back. So pick your poison September 13th. Because the potions that are being mixed here, these concoctions may be that of potency. We'll be right back.
To Paul Allen and 9 to noon on iHeartRadio and FM 100.
Anish Shroff Shroff is the box for the Carolina Panthers, and two-a-days are in the air, 9 to noon style. And with this Viking schedule, we have arrived at the 12th game of the 2026 season, and it's the Carolina Panthers at U.S. Bank Stadium in early December. Bob Socci with the New England Patriots will join a couple of segments from now to handle Game 13. But first, here's Anish executing his toy.
Walker remains in the gun. Three-man rush. Takes the snap. Drops back. Rolls to his left. He's flushed. Loads up. Airs it deep downfield for DJ Moore. Behind his man. Oh, he got it! Yeah! He caught the ball! DJ Moore caught the ball!
How did that happen? Oh, my goodness.
Touchdown, Carolina! This is amazing!
How have you been, and how's the hot training camp vibe rolling along for the Carolina Panthers?
Well, we were out there yesterday. I think it was about as hot as about the eighth circle of hell. So it's getting there, and then we go to Florida for Jacksonville this weekend. So I guess that was a dress rehearsal, Paul.
We here with the two-a-days 9 to noon on KFAN, home for Vikings football. Anish, we've handled the Bucks, the Saints, and the Falcons with two-a-days, and this actually is the team I like to win the NFC South. The Bucks are favored to win your division, then the Saints, then the Panthers. Anish, does that surprise you in any way?
Well, what surprises me is people are willing to go on the record with the NFC South, just given how wild and unpredictable that division is. And what I feel is unique so far, everybody's got issues. You look at the Saints, they lost a lot of key pieces on defense in the offseason, and then you saw the news recently, Jordan Tyson might be out for a couple of months.
Yep.
Tampa has Baker Mayfield, who is a little disgruntled. Vita Vea wants out. Mike Evans is already in San Francisco. There's an older core in Tampa as well. The Falcons, so they've got a quarterback problem, right? Michael Penix is slow to come back from his knee injury. Tua hasn't looked good. He had a bit of a back thing early in camp. So they've got the skill position players, and now your top two pass rushers, James Pierce and Jalen Walker, one's out for the season, one's suspended for 8 games. And then with the Panthers, we've had our injuries too. Nick Scorton, who is counted on to do big things at edge, out for the season. Chris Brazzell, a vertical threat, third-round pick, a wide receiver who had a real shot to be wide receiver 3. He's out for the year with a knee injury. So everybody has their warts and everybody has their flaws. And the nature of this division in recent years has been throw paint at the wall and let's see who sticks.
You, Anish, you've seen Baker Mayfield more than me and more than us. And you know, he had an opportunity to get together with the Bucks on a contract, opted not to, instead play it out, see where it goes. When it comes to Baker and the Buccaneers and like having a distraction like this, because it is a distraction, even if Baker and the Bucks want to say that it's not. What do you think overall of his game and that team?
He's gutty. He's got moxie. I think sometimes it can go too far and he can cost you a game, but in the same token, he can win you a game. He's got that gunslinger mentality. I do think it is a unique situation, though, to have a quarterback who's had you in the playoffs a few times already to go into the last year of his contract without an extension. That, Paul, you've been doing this a long time. You don't see a quarterback of Baker Mayfield's caliber hit free agency very often. Part of me would like to think the Bucks would get a deal done because there's no one-to-one replacement waiting there unless they trade up and get one of the top guys in the draft next year. But then you're also waiting on a rookie quarterback potentially for a few years. So if they feel they're in their contention window, I don't know why you just wouldn't extend Baker Mayfield.
And the Carolina Panthers have done that with Bryce Young, who they drafted very high a few years ago. And Bryce went for a career high in yards and touchdowns last season. Carolina Panthers quarterback Bryce Young, is he set to become even better this season?
That's the hope, and I look at it as two paths. The Panthers picked up his fifth-year option, so you've got this year and next year he's playing on his rookie deal. If he takes the next incremental step in his development, Carolina should be in a similar spot to where they were last year, where they go into the home stretch, and the Vikings game is going to be one of those games. They're going to be in this. They're going to be in it in the South. They're going to be competing for a playoff spot. They're going to be competing for a division title. If he can take the leap, and you hope that is in there because of his pedigree as a former number one pick, if he can take that leap, now you're skipping a few steps and you now vault into contender status. And so that's what we're all kind of looking for. He has shown flashes in the fourth quarter of games. He has shown flashes, certainly when he plays the Falcons, he looks like Superman, but there have also been spells of inconsistency. If Bryce Young can find more consistency, third year of an offense, his fourth year as a starter, if that leap is there, it changes the short-term and long-term trajectory of the franchise.
So with the totality of Bryce's game, because he's a quarterback and he's polarizing and he's been in this offense 3 years, when it comes to the leap outside of the desperate moments of quarters 4 and stuff like that, what goes into that? More poise, moving more, moving less? Like when it comes to Bryce Young's leap, what is your trained eye looking for?
One is processing. How quickly can he go from option 1 to 2-3? That's a quarterback term. They say when you're reading your coverages and you're going through your progressions, it's 1, 2, 3. How quickly can he do that? How much can he eliminate pre-snap at the line of scrimmage? That, again, is having mastery of the offense, knowing the concepts, knowing what defenses are throwing to you. And then the third part we've already started to see. He is starting to become more vocal, more of a leader. In OTAs, he's calling guys out for running the wrong routes and dropping passes, and he has kind of taken the mic in the quarterback room now. Andy Dalton was sort of there the last few years, break glass in case of emergency, veteran guy who's played a lot. They traded Dalton to Philadelphia. It's Bryce's QB room. If he can continue to, I think, morph as a leader, as a vocal guy, he's very much a people pleaser. That's his personality, but we've started to see a little more of an edge with him, and I think that's a good thing.
These are two-a-days, and we are to the 12th game of the season. The Carolina Panthers will be at U.S. Bank Stadium early December. This is Anish Shroff, the play-by-play voice of the Carolina Panthers. Anish, tell us about a couple of the newbies with big names. Linebacker Devin Lloyd and edge Jalen Phillips. 23 snaps between them in the first preseason game against Buffalo. So whether it's that snapshot with training camp or projection into the season, what do you expect from those two?
The expectation is that they can turn what was a middle-of-the-pack defense into a top 10 defense. They haven't had a guy like Devin Lloyd basically since they've had a healthy Shaq Thompson, and that's going back a few years. He is a true green dot. He gets everybody lined up. He's got great instincts. There was a play in the Buffalo preseason game where the Bills ran a crack toss to the left. They ran that play against the Panthers in the regular season last year, and Carolina could not stop them. The Bills ran for 200-plus yards. I think James Cook went over 200 yards in that game. Jeez. And Devin Lloyd, he's got one blocker to beat, and he's got to read it right away. He beats that blocker. He gets into the gap. He blows up the play behind the line of scrimmage. That's missing. He's a forced multiplier. He makes everybody around him better. And then Jalen Phillips, listen, the Panthers last year somehow ranked top 10 in the NFL in interceptions with what was really an anemic pass rush. So they needed somebody off the edge who can affect the quarterback. Phillips comes up with a sack. He would have had another. He had Josh Allen by the arm and in a full embrace, and only because, as you've seen, Josh Allen is 6'5" and 240. Allen was somehow able to throw the ball away. He was getting pressure and beating his guy at will. Again, not having Nick Scorton on the other side, that's going to hurt, but we saw some good things from some of the other guys. You guys know Pat Jones. He didn't play in the game, but he's had a good camp. And then Princely Umanmielen. But Jalen Phillips is somebody that can get constant pressure on the QB. And with the secondary that the Panthers have, there's ball hawks out there. Devin Lloyd had 5 picks as a linebacker last year as well. If he can be a guy who can stay on the field and be disruptive, it's got a chance to lead to a lot of turnovers.
Boy, that was an excellent example. Thank you for that. Speedy and mercurial tight end Darren Waller has entered the mix with the Carolina Panthers. That happened yesterday. What are we thinking about that?
Well, one, the tight end room has not produced a whole lot in the last few years, and the Panthers did not address it in free agency. They didn't address it during the draft. So you go into the season with Mitchell Evans, who's a second-year tight end from Notre Dame, Tommy Tremble, another former Notre Dame tight end. He's been there for a while, veteran tight end, but you kind of know what he is. He's more of your inline blocker. Yeah, he'll catch a few passes. And then J.T. Sanders, now going into year 3, was the guy that they sort of anticipated to be the vertical threat who can go stretch the field, make plays in the middle of the field. He's got some speed, more of a catcher than a blocker. But Sanders in his rookie season had a neck injury against Kansas City. He had been playing well. He just hasn't been the same since. And so I think all of us are looking at Sanders with Waller now in the mix, because Waller last year, again, 24 catches, 6 touchdowns. He is a big red zone target. When we saw him yesterday, he didn't do a whole lot in terms of team drills. It was more one-on-one, kind of getting loose and lathered individually. They thought he was in incredible shape. And again, if he is another weapon in the middle of the field for Bryce Young, especially in the red zone, he's got a real chance to make the 53-man roster. And again, I think it puts the tight end room on notice a little bit. You bring in a guy like Waller, you're essentially telling those guys, hey, what he does, we don't have.
Right. I noticed Darrell Bevel is the assistant head coach down there. Personally speaking, man, I love that guy. And his blitz beating plays are very, very good. He was the offensive coordinator here in 2009 when Favre had that good year at quarterback. Have you had a chance to get to know Darrell yet? And just overall, what do you think of the offense?
Just a couple of quick conversations, nothing major with Darrell, but he and Dave Canales have a history from their time in Seattle. And what the new wrinkle with the offense will be, Dave Canales had been calling the plays the last 2 years. He handed off play calling to Brad Idzik. Now, Idzik had the nominal title of offensive coordinator. Now he's the play caller. And you and maybe 7 million people watched that Hall of Fame game. Again, the starters didn't play. But you saw what he did with Haynes King, moving him out of the pocket, getting him in good spots, and the offense scored on 6 of its last 7 drives. And the one that they didn't, they handed the ball off twice, and the running back fumbled. So I think there's a lot of excitement with Brad Idzik being the play caller. It's going to help Dave Canales kind of step back. He can have the bird's eye view of the whole operation during the week on game day. Canales has talked about how, lets him work the refs a little more. It lets him be, kind of more in tune with game situations, timeouts, time and score. And Brad was one of the architects of this offense. Brad Idzik was, along with Harold Goodwin and Dave Canales when they were in Tampa. So he's been, in this system from a developmental standpoint, and now he's going to add his own wrinkle to it. I think that is exciting.
Wow, what a preseason, what a training camp for your Panthers, right? I mean, you're in Canton, Ohio to play Arizona in that Hall of Fame game. It's hot. And now you go to humid Florida for joints against Jacksonville. That's a lot, man.
Yeah, Canton was hot. It was not Charlotte hot. Buffalo was about 75 this past weekend, which we would take. And then I think yesterday it was a feel like 105 day here in Charlotte. It's going to be hot. It's going to be swampy. It's going to be muggy in Jacksonville. And then we'll see what the end of August looks like at home against Houston, but that's probably going to be hot too. You know what, Paul? It's been an exciting lead up to the regular season because the Panthers were in the playoffs last year. There is a buzz in this town. This is my 5th year now with the Panthers, and it kind of reminds me, I've lived in this city for 15 years, it kind of reminds me of the halcyon days of Cam Newton and Luke Kuechly, 2015, 2017, where there was this palpable buzz, and this was a Panthers city, and it feels like that again. And you got the Hurricanes over in Raleigh who just won the Stanley Cup. The Hornets came off one of their better seasons in recent memory. It's just kind of nice that the Panthers have this place carved out in the fabric of North Carolina sports right now, and the arrow does seem to be pointing up. So there's a lot of excitement going into this season. The first game against Chicago, I've gotten more ticket requests for that game than any other game in my 4+ years with the Panthers.
What about first-round offensive tackle Monroe Freeling? How up to speed is he?
Yeah, so he was a left tackle last year at Georgia. He's played some right tackle in college. He has to play right tackle. And for the Panthers, ideally the situation was for Freeling, hey, we're going to bring him along slowly. We've got a veteran right tackle in Taylor Moton. They signed Rasheed Walker from Green Bay, as you know, to be the left tackle because Ike Ekwonu, their regular starter, suffered a patellar tendon injury in the playoff game, and he's going to be out for at least half the season, if not more. So Freeling was kind of brought in, hey, you'll be that third tackle to go into the season. And then, as you know, when man plans, God laughs. So Taylor Moton, we find out on the eve of training camp, he's got blood clots in his lung. He's going to be out at least the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. And now Monroe Freeling is your starting right tackle to go into the year. He's been going up against Jalen Phillips throughout camp. Sometimes that hasn't looked great. He's looked like a rookie, but he acquitted himself pretty well in the 9 snaps that he had in the preseason game. I think we'll get a longer look at him this week against Jacksonville, but the coaches absolutely love him. They say he's a sponge. When he does something wrong, he knows what it is, and then he fixes it, and he doesn't make the same mistake twice. That's what you want in a young player.
When man plans, God laughs. That's brilliant. I've never heard that. Well done. Just a couple of quickies to close here for Anish Shroff, the Vox for the Carolina Panthers. With your squad, man, what's sneaky good with the Carolina Panthers? Few, if any, are discussing.
One is the secondary. They are loaded in the secondary. They have 2 corners with 5 picks last year. It's, in my opinion, the top 3, top 5 cornerback tandem, J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson. They're deep at the safety position. And then the wide receiver room is not being talked about enough. Tetairoa McMillan was the offensive rookie of the year last year. He's added about 20 pounds. He's still big, strong, and fast. And then the guy who has a chance to really emerge, he's going to be one of these fantasy football sleepers, is Jalen Coker. Undrafted receiver a few years ago out of Holy Cross, had a huge game in the wild card game against the Rams. He catches everything. Reminds me a little of when we had Adam Thielen. You guys have seen Adam Thielen over the years. He's got a little more hop in his step. He's a bit younger, but he's just a guy that runs the right routes. He's in the right spot. He catches everything, and he's got every route on the route tree. And then obviously Xavier Legette, big season for him, former number 1 pick. He's kind of the number 3 receiver, but 4 through 6, they've got a lot of depth in that room. And so again, I think offensively, the receivers are going to be a strength. I've got some questions in the running back room only because the top 2 guys are coming back from an injury, but the secondary is really good, and you brought up Devin Lloyd and Jalen Phillips earlier. If those guys can play to their potential and how they played last year, frankly, this becomes one of the better defensive units in the NFL.
Lastly, who's the team to beat in the NFC South and why? And is it the Carolina Panthers?
That's a trick question, Paul.
Why?
That's a trick question because it's the division where just when you know, you don't know. And last year, you had 3 teams, tied 8 and 9, right? And then you had to go to a silly tiebreaker to kind of figure it out. But listen, I think the Panthers are the team to beat. They won the division last year.
Right. It's
a young team that's figuring it out. What is going to be fascinating this year, and it's going to be a narrative depending on how the season starts. You see this with young teams. Last year, every time they would get knocked down and they would lose a game, they'd bounce back up and they'd win the next week. Where they struggled was stacking wins. And outside of a 3-game win streak, which kind of got their season righted, they were 4-3 after the 3-game win streak. They did not win back-to-back games again the rest of the season. And so it was this pattern of win 1, lose 1. Yes, you can handle adversity, and when people are counting you out, you can get off the mat. The question this year, can they handle success? There are people now who are saying, hey, we think you're going to win the division, and we expect this from you guys. And they're now talking you up. You're no longer the punchline. can you handle the praise? Can you handle the success? When you go and win a big game on the road against somebody, can you then come home and follow it up? To me, those are the signs of a team that is maturing and growing, and that's one of the things I'm looking for early in the year.
That was excellent. Thank you very much. Have fun with the season, and to see you up here in early December, okay?
Sounds good, Paul. Look forward to it, pal.
9 to noon continues after this.
This is 9 to noon on The Fan.
Conversation and stay locked in.
Thank you to The Casino at CanterburyPark.com. Canterbury Park, my favorite spot in Shakopee, for bringing you news du Nord. This is going to be Vikes Bites.
Beef.
But before we get to Vikes Bites and a border battle-related talker that I found in relation to Jonathan Gannon, specifically, as we were talking.
Canterbury, Chapel Horse, Moral Dilemma, Sunday, 1:40.
Oh, sweet. Do we know what's the morning line on it?
2-1.
Oh, yeah, just raking it in 2026. Loving Moral Dilemma.
CanterburyPark.com.
If anybody is interested, when I was filling in for you about a month ago, PA, and I think you'd heard about him. Mark Dowdle is, I think he was born and raised in Chicago, finds his way to St. Thomas. He does speaking and he does running, unlike anything fathomable by us mere mortals. He was racing last night, and I was just captivated by it in something called the Last Soul Ultra.
Oh, I saw your tweet. I didn't understand what it was because I didn't click on the bit, but explain.
Yeah, so he's running. This is a contest. It started with like 160 people, maybe a little bit more.
And that's at Mad Producer 1. Don't forget to hit the sub button.
Sub button, ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget to subscribe.
So, but this is it's not like running on the track or doing a marathon in the streets. Like, this is rugged off-road running. And so got to learn about it, still kind of in my head, just not really understanding how humans can do this. This contest consists of 6.7 kilometer laps, which it's basically, I think it's 4 1/10. It's like 4.16 or something like that. And you just all start the laps and you have an hour to run it. And if you finish before the hour's up, you get the remaining time of that hour to chill. And it started with 160 people. By the end of it last night, I'm sitting in bed watching this thing on my phone, and then I fired up YouTube on the TV. It was him and this other guy, this German dude. They were on lap 87 when I went to bed. So they had eclipsed 350-ish miles.
That's some perseverance right there.
And again, this is over the course. This is just ongoing. So what, 87 hours? We're talking 3.5 days, right?
Yeah.
And the only rest you get is however fast you finish that lap for the remainder of that hour.
Impressive.
And I'm happy to report Mark Dowdle finished 94 laps, 391 and change miles over 3.5 days.
Good job, bud.
And he won.
Wow. Hey!
He's our guy.
He's our guy, and we have a deeply rooted appreciation for that because the only thing Nordo and I run from is our pasts.
I always love that one.
Well done.
I don't even know why that makes me laugh because it's so true. So cheers to Mark Dowdle on that victory. So awesome. And
Indeed.
then Twins beat the Braves last night. But let's jump into Vikes Bites.
Vikes Bites.
Vikes Bites provided by Kinmount Exteriors. Vikings fans they are, and their fans are working with you. And it's windows, siding, roofing, and decks. Learn more about the Clear Quote Promise. Headache-free, hassle-free, no hidden fees. Just great work done. And you're going to be smiling with Kinmount Exteriors. I was reading this. Let's play the talkback first, and then we'll jump into the article I was reading.
Well, you got a lot going on over there, man.
Hey, guys. Ryan in Michigan. PA is absolutely correct about week 1. KOC's first game as head coach.
There we go.
I get those same kind of feelings. The Packers aren't going to know what to plan for, and they're not going to know what hit them. And I am here for it. Skull.
I guess we got them a little excited for game 1, right?
Yeah, we're a little pumped up, and they're not going to have Micah Parsons. But you mentioned Jonathan Gannon. So this will be, 26. It's 9 years since we watched assistant DB's coach Jonathan Gannon pounding on the glass next to our radio booth post Minneapolis Miracle.
Then he went to the Eagles and I think he won a Super Bowl.
I think he may have won a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Well, good for him in that regard, I suppose.
Awesome guy.
Didn't work. He is an awesome guy. Didn't work out as head boss of Arizona. Now he's the DC with Green Bay. But everyone loves Zaire Franklin, Javon Hargrave. We'll see how that goes. Drafted some Chris McClellan cat for a big man in the middle, Devontae Wyatt. We know most of the names.
Wyatt, the bomb.
Would you agree that Keyshawn Nixon is probably their best corner?
Yes.
And then, Carrington Valentine. I guess they may really like this Brandon Cisse cat that they drafted in the second round.
That old Xavier McKinney back there, man, in one of the safety spots.
The reason I'm asking is it sounds like Jonathan Gannon's rolling in and taking 0 prisoners in camp because I saw this headline. It says Packers cornerback, NFL.com, which are they basically ESPN now? I don't know how that all works. Anyway, Keyshawn Nixon believes he's being punished with backup repetitions. Oh my gosh. So here's what it says.
Keyshawn Nixon, the single, I'm not even going to say greatest, because I've been on the sideline so many times when he trash talks members of the Minnesota Vikings, and the prattle's not that great. He's the single loudest trash talker I've come across in the National Football League since Kelly Campbell.
Hey, can you give us an old school Norv? I got this text here. Nordo, are we about to see a sophisticated offense with this outside zone blocking?
Norv!
Yes, maybe we will, Clayton. Keyshawn Nixon's spot as a starting corner is written in pencil rather than pen at this point in 2026, says Kevin Patra. Here's the quote, though. I guess I'm being punished right now, I guess. I don't know. Via ESPN. I don't really worry about what I'm running in camp, ones or twos. I just keep my process and just compete. I don't view myself in no competition. I've come here to compete for myself. What they do and who they choose, that's out of my control. I can only control what I can control. Now, I came from the bottom, so I'm here, year 8.
Channeling his inner McCarthy.
Here we go. Since I've been here, I ain't been off the field, and anything they've asked me to do, I've played at a high level, whether it was getting accolades or anything. However it came, I showed up. So I always show up. So he did start all 17 games last year, and he was an all-pro returner earlier in his career.
Yeah.
They note that later on in the article.
Phenomenal kick returner.
But then in relation to, he's been playing some 1 reps, but this all stems, I guess, last week in practices. Mm-hmm. He was consistently running with the 2s and in some case even the 3s. And then Nixon, they ain't really told me nothing. Every day I find out a different thing and I just attack it. I don't care what it is, whether it's me taking reps on special teams. I attack it, though.
Wow.
Can't really run me off, so I'm ready to play ball.
He got beat.
He
got beat out of his starting job.
It's possible.
Wow.
Brandon Cisse has taken most of the starting reps opposite Nixon, so they're really liking him. And then Benjamin St. Juste, Ski-U-Ma, I think, years gone by, has also taken first-team reps.
Good luck with that.
They're putting a little heat on Keyshawn Nixon. Yeah. Jonathan Gannon taking no prisoners earlier in camp. I love it.
Wow. The former Gopher, Benjamin St. Juste, he had his problems when he was manning the corner spot with Washington. We'll see how week 1 develops. Just from afar, they need Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons makes everything you just heard exponentially better when he plays. But unless I'm wrong here, and I misspoke, it originally with Parsons was 4 games, like opening season pup, which is 4 games.
Yeah.
I think I read something recently where it's like 6 games minimum until he returns.
I think the way that I read it, and it may have been similar what we were looking at, was that the rosiest picture, and I'm scrambling to pull up the Packers schedule right now.
Yep.
It's week 6 or week 7-ish.
There we go.
It's when it's Sunday Night Football, Lambeau, Cowboys in town.
Okay.
And so I believe that was the rosy picture that by week 6 he could face his former team.
He'll have 3 sacks in that game.
He might have 3 sacks.
Yeah, by the time we face them the second time, I don't even know how many games between that game and the Lambeau game. He'll have 10. He's going to have a couple of games with 3s, the bomb.
If he comes back for Sunday night against Dallas, he'll get 4 games hosting Dallas.
Oh, 4?
In Detroit. hosting the Kitties. That's a trifecta sack game right there. No offense to Anish, who we enjoyed having on.
Oh, come on, man.
But the Carolina Panthers in town, he's going to get Bryce Young a few times, and then they go. They go play
Monroe Freeling is going to S his P's over Micah Parsons starting in September.
Well, how about this? I mean, different roads, but maybe the same end destination. You hear him talking about Moton and the O-line. Like, could it be any more 2025 Vikings-esque?
Right.
Down in Charlotte right now?
Right.
But yes, I found things are a little jumpy right now over in Green Bay, and you know what? That's okay. Mm-hmm. They can have that distraction factor. We'll just do our thing, and we'll meet week 1.
Gannon likes to blitz. Well, I mean, everybody in the league knows he loves to blitz. It would be so brilliant in that first game if they rushed 4 and dropped 7 like a majority of the plays, because not saying the Vikings can't get around it, but it definitely would catch somebody off guard.
Just going against the grain. Mm-hmm. See, we're pumped up for week 1, and I think it was Alan and Afton. I just want to be excited, and that's all I am right now, Alan. And we'll figure out the disappointment later, but we are permitting our hearts to be.
It's a border battle, man.
It's a border battle.
And we got a Friday football feast the Friday in front of it.
Throw out the records and let's just play ball. Vikes Bites. Kevin O'Connell speaking yesterday, and we're going to get a lot of KO.
We got KO cuts?
I think I got singular KO cut. Mm-hmm. But I think we're getting him, like, he speaks maybe each day of the joint practices too. At least I thought I saw that on the media.
Yeah,
schedule.
Let me guess, 2:20.
11:40.
11:40?
11:40.
Oh, jeez. Holy cow.
8-segment day.
Well, this is just coming together so sweetly.
We heard about the official.
What are you talking about? Tate Bench play it 3 times, cut that sucker down to 5. Hey.
Oh, hey, Abbott. Oh, whoops.
We got Finchy tomorrow to start the show.
We got Finchy. Kevin O'Connell, just speaking on the official news that Jamal Adams was going to be on the IR. We talked late yesterday. Bryce Phillips, kind of the undrafted cat out of San Diego State, I think. He's a corner, so he's now in the mix. So that's the swap, I suppose. But Kevin O'Connell says Jamal Adams will be hanging around the building.
He's going to be with us all season long. I think it's really important that Jamal knows, and I've talked to a lot, both to him and his family, about just his impact on this organization, his ability to help young players, his ability to be a real beacon of energy, and obviously he's going to be focused on getting healthy. We're going to have him with us. You guys will see him around, see him out here, see him, around the building, because, he's a Minnesota Viking now, and we want to make sure that he knows how important he'll be to our players and team.
Yeah, I just thought that's cool. Again, in a very short period of time, I thought the way we talked about Jamal got elevated real quick. Mm-hmm. That's partially valid because of what we saw on the field.
So they're going to make him a coach? Or like the Vikings had Ben Ellefson, Hawley, Minnesota, go crazy. And then he went all of a sudden under the cover of darkness, wasn't playing anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like assistant tight end coach, assistant run game coordinator.
I saw him working with the O-line when I was out there last week or 2 weeks ago.
Ben's awesome. Maybe Jamal's going to slow roll into one of those deals.
Well, based on the situation, he's definitely going to be slow rolling wherever he goes post-surgery, but maybe he's just a hype man. Don't you think? Hype man for the defense?
Well, yeah, he better be
unofficial team mascot?
Yeah, send him out on the field to be in the middle of the circle to do the, get in here, I got one thing to say. This is where the big dogs come out. Chad O'Barr. And if you can't run with the big dogs, stay off the porch. I just hope he doesn't jump too high on his initial talk in front of the Green Bay game.
He clearly endeared himself with this organization quickly. And a lot of guys within that locker room defensively specifically have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, Fiji, Fairness and Jamal Adams Act, he was better than I thought. Yeah. Because he kind of got lost in the shuffle due to these injuries, playing 20 games over 3 years. 17 games for the Raiders. Does that count? Honestly, who paid attention? So we didn't, because we didn't know he was a linebacker now. I'm like, all right, prove it deal. We're going to see what happens. I ain't making him favored to make the squad. Then they started implementing him more with the ones in practice. Then I saw Mad Producer One on Twitter during the simulcast getting all excited with him getting in the backfield and trash talking the Giants bench.
It's truly 4 real-time minutes later.
Right. And
disaster.
Then I'm like, damn, Jamal fits, man. He's good and he's smart too, and he can get things squared away because they are, they have it, but I think it's Metellus and Metellus, I think, joins for a quarter on the simulcast this weekend.
Oh, sweet.
But the communicative nature of Harry the Hitman and how good he was getting the secondary squared away, I mean, that still has to be a work in progress. Maybe they have it squared away. Cashy's the green dot. Blake, he's going to handle that. But the secondary communication's important, and maybe it's a tell us with Metellus thing.
And that's Bikes. I did have, well, actually, you know what? We're going to do this. Here is Metellus talking about leadership and how important it is that he helps with that.
My job is going to be to get the communication, get the guys ready to play, making sure we're playing clean, calm football so we can actually get work and not, blow everything out of proportion because, emotions are high and guys are trying to, oh, this is joint practice. Like, no, it's football. Let's play clean so we can see a true test of where we're at and, move on like that. 'Cause at the end of the day, it's still practice. Some guys get caught, oh, it's a game. It's going to feel like one, but it's still practice. So, we need clean reps on both sides for us to, actually see where we're at.
So getting guys in the right spots on the field and making sure that things don't boil over in these joints, which start tomorrow, and we're going to be there for it.
Who hasn't been waiting all year for the Chidobe Awuzie Justin Jefferson matchup?
There we go, Paul!
I mean, that's worth the price of admission right there.
Well, we already get it locally with Charles Demings and whoever the nameless, faceless actor is on the other side of the field. So Awuzie, it's almost like Jefferson's taking reps off, So
come on, man.
Hopefully he still finds some value in it.
Roquan Smith, though.
No, Roquan's a thumper, man. and I don't know if Matt Abuke, these joints are so awesome. Yep. I can't wait to run through things and just kind of see how these things are going to match up the next couple of days.
You'll be on 494 West by 12:20. Who are you kidding?
And that's Vikes Bites, brought to you by Kinmount Exteriors.
That's awesome.
KinmountExteriors.com. More two-a-days?
Yep, we're putting a wrap on two-a-days for two-day with a Game 13. This one is on a short week off the Panthers game. It's a Thursday at Gillette in Foxborough. And Bob Sosi, the Vox for the New England Patriots, he'll help us with that around the corner. Then more talkbacks. Then either before or during the Owl Roofing, owlroofing.com postgame, we're going to give away a prize. What is said prize?
$25 gift card to Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supply.
Yep, so get yourselves in there with the talkbacks of the free iHeartRadio app. It's 11:05 at FM 100.3 KFAN.
This is PA on iHeartRadio and KFAN The Fan. Guaranteed human.